And I will now turn the time over to Alan Nevels, who is the Senior Vice President of Card Risk and Merchant Services from ICBA Bank Card, and he will introduce our speaker. Alan?
Yes, thank you, Marlene, and thank you all for joining us today for this presentation to discuss the benefits of a merchant acquiring no liability referral program. ICBA Bank Card has been in partnership with FiNet since early 2015 as a result of our concerns with continued and increasing fraud liability and regulatory burdens for our members and our clients in the merchant acquiring space. Through our partnership, FiNet offers a discount to all ICBA members for its services, and we believe their program provides a great option for all community banks. Our speaker today is Richard Camardo, the founder and president of FiNet, Inc. Richard started FiNet in 2008, bringing nearly 30 years of merchant servicing expertise and leadership to his role with the company. Before creating FiNet, Richard served as general manager and senior vice president of the financial institutions group of Sage Payment Solutions, where he oversaw the company's banking partnership. Richard also was president and founder of two other merchant servicing sales organizations dating back as far as 1990. Prior to serving community banks, Richard was a banker himself, managing the merchant services department of several Society Bank's largest Ohio markets. Rick's focus is on supporting and growing the programs of our partners and then consistently delivering personalized support worthy of the financial institutions FiNet has the privilege to serve. And with that, I will turn it over to Richard, or who I call Rick. Okay, to get us through our presentation.
All right, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Marlene, and thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy schedule to discuss the wonderful world of merchant services. I was telling Alan I'm more comfortable in a face-to-face environment where I can kind of use my hands and be expressive. So I apologize if you hear anything fall over. It's probably because I knocked over my water bottle or something in my presentation here. But we're really here to focus on evaluating merchant services program and going over some of the benefits and features of our program. A little bit about our company. We are based in Ohio. We are a provider of merchant payments, payment processing, strictly for community banks. We do not offer the service through any other channel. Our core management team has been together for nearly 25 years. Obviously, as Alan mentioned, we are a very proud partner of the ICBA in being able to offer our services to their membership. And, you know, in the ISO world, which is what we're called, which stands for Independent Sales Organization, we are registered with Sage Payment Solutions, which is also based in DC, and our relationship with them is more of a, they are kind of the factory that develops a lot of products and services and provides underwriting for our banks and for our merchants. And so we work very closely with them and partnering with them on providing these solutions. I'm sure many of you that have been in banking for a while know that there are a lot of benefits of merchant services. As Alan mentioned, I've been doing it for so long that I had an opportunity to do it both at the bank and then also have the ability and the honor to service community banks with this program. And as you see the comment there, community banks are still the very core of the U.S. financial system. That is so true, and also it's still the primary place that a lot of merchants would prefer to get this product and solution. It's just a matter of obviously being able to have the technology and the products and services available. So, you know, the benefits are to be able to provide those clients the service that they need. It's a great opportunity to retain commercial accounts and attract them as well. Credit card sales or deposits, and those deposits are electronically funded directly into their community bank checking account. So it also increases deposits. I still can challenge anybody to tell me of a better foot in the door product when talking to or trying to attract new clients. And it does deliver a revenue stream. Again, it's not a huge revenue stream, but it can be for those banks that are proactive and aggressive with the product. And our program does allow for a good amount of revenue to be directed back to the bank to help support the program. The main thing that we wanted to address is the fraud and liability. And as Linda Eckert made it very clear and has made it very clear in our meetings with them, that community banks are underwriting their own merchant services program at a tremendous risk. And this is true. It's dating back, the underwriting was always viewed as a way for the banks to maintain control of those relationships, and the underwriting and owning the liability was thought to be the way that they could make sure that they're not allowing a third party to come in and provide any kind of a deterrent to the relationship. And that is and was true. We like to think that what our program does is take just the liability factor away, but still allow the banks to be very active and involved and in control of the program. And again, the resources that are needed to monitor fraud and risk, we work with some of the largest processors in the country, and I can tell you that it's extensive what is required to really stay on top of fraud and risk, and being able to not only observe it, but to stop it and to put the practices in place to prevent it from happening going forward. So again, we really like to promote the fact that it's a great way for banks to provide this service and really not have that exposure that you do get with a liability program. Excuse me. Our merchant expertise, payments is and is becoming even more of a specialized industry. The regulations that are hitting right now, we call it our perfect storm here back at our office, where you have EMV, the PCI, the growth of the mobile payments, the growth of tablet-based systems, and then also the web-based or virtual solutions are really all kind of hitting it at the same time. And again, it is very difficult for banks doing this internally to keep up with a lot of this technology. We have people totally devoted to products, to the standards, the regulations, so we make sure that we're meeting all of the regulations implemented by Visa and MasterCard, and also keeping up with all of the changes in the technology that can impact the needs of your business clients. And there's constant change, obviously, happening that all the time. What to consider when you're evaluating your merchant program? Obviously, the first point is, does the bank currently hold merchant liability, or does the bank have any expenses with the merchant program? It's, again, a possibility to not have liability but still have expenses, and really in a good partnership, the bank should not have any expenses or liability. The bank should be earning revenue. The bank should be receiving support, and when I say support, not just somebody there to answer a phone when the bank calls with a question or problem. It's to proactively promote meetings with the bank, to educate the bank. We provide that same type of solution to merchants. Our goal is an educated merchant is going to be much easier to support and service, especially with everything that's going on in our industry. So we really work very hard to try to keep our banks and our merchants not only supporting their questions as they have them, but also proactively providing them with information. And we do that with our training and marketing support. We're very, again, aggressive in offering marketing solutions to our banks. We have a product called Finite University that we go into our financial institutions just to educate on merchant services. Again, not expecting our banks to become experts, but to help promote a confidence and just a knowledge of the product enough so that there are no concerns when talking directly to a merchant about what their needs may be. And the other thing that we really promote is trying to keep and wanting to keep the bank involved in all aspects of the sale and the transaction, and that includes the prospecting, sales process, and setup. And when I say involved, it's not, again, requiring the bank to do any of these parts of the equation. It has more to do with keeping the bank involved so that the merchant still feels that it's a bank-driven product. The bank is supporting the process and then providing information back to the bank so that they know and are kept up to speed on what's going on with their merchant. Because again, it's your merchant. We're just providing an ancillary solution to help support that merchant going forward. And I'll address that further on in the presentation. Our mission is to have our processing partners take on the risk and liability and not the bank. So again, the underwriting process is for the most part removed from the bank, although the bank is very and can be involved and active in that. But it's really not advantageous at this time for community banks to have liability for a merchant services program when there are so many different ways the fraud can occur and is occurring. And you never think it's going to happen to you, but I know that there are stories right inside the ICBA of banks that have been hit with some merchant fraud, and again, it's not a very pleasant transaction. Our program, the bank again has no expense. The bank cannot lose any money whatsoever, but again, you can retain that hands-on, that community bank feel directly with your merchant, that you're involved, and that they know that you're assisting them with this product and solution. Our sole mission is to support community banks and their merchants. We don't have a telemarketing team that's also calling merchants. We don't have people as feet on the street or independent agents that are selling directly to merchants. When we started supporting community banks back in 1994, we made the commitment that our focus would be just on helping community banks sell this product and service and not have to compete with another department or division within our organization. So our sole focus is, again, is just supporting the community bank and not competing with them, and really providing resources and the ability for the bank to grow their portfolio as well. What we do with our program, and it's kind of unique from the standpoint that we have an in-house sales and service teams that provide the community banks the ability to be a part of the process and to focus on the relationship. So our phones are answered by a human being. I know in this day and age that's rare, unfortunately, but our phones are always answered by a live person. There's never an automated system. And we provide dedicated and committed, designated sales and service people directly to our bank partners. So in other words, there is an individual who is responsible for overseeing the sales process. There is a different individual who becomes the service arm for the bank for servicing the accounts. We find that building that rapport, these individuals get to know your bank, you get to know them, and obviously it creates that much stronger of a relationship that becomes very apparent to the merchant, that they know that they're dealing with the same people. They don't get that feel of the outsourced relationship, and again, it allows for the program to still remain very tight and compact in how products and services and support is delivered. We provide the tools and training, obviously, that are necessary in order to promote that type of a program. As I mentioned before, our education that we provide, not necessarily, we do provide that directly at the bank level. We like to attend meetings with the bank where we can just spend some time talking about merchant services, but we also do a lot from our marketing department. There's newsletters, information sent out constantly. We try to use social media a lot to get our points and message across. And, you know, a lot of that is just trying to provide training and support to the bank so that you can understand merchant services that much more, so it can just help successfully identify prospects. And then we also provide access to tools to monitor sales and service while the sales process is going on, and then also to evaluate the efficiency of the program on an ongoing basis. We do what we call kind of a report card mentality, where we can provide information back to our banks, letting them know the success of their program, how many referrals have been or leads have been handled, the kind of the responses of those accounts, and then also we can compare it to peer banks within the same demographic or same footprint as far as asset size or branch size, so that you can get an idea how you're comparing against some of the peers when offering merchant services through our program. And we do this by understanding that there's not a one-size-fits-all approach here. We support many financial institutions, banks right now, community banks, and I can honestly tell you that of the well over 150 relationships that we're managing and supporting, there's probably little minor tweaks to each one of those programs, because we don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach. It's not doing the bank any justice or favors by just laying out a program in black and white and expecting them to follow along. It's very much a program that's driven by the interaction with the bank and how involved the community bank really wants to be. And like I said, there's all different levels of participation that our partners believe in or are involved in. So I can't tell you exactly the best solution for your bank, but what I can tell you is the more involved the bank is, successful the program is going to be, the more revenue that's going to be created, the more new accounts that are going to be generated, and it's just basically a win-win for both of us. And our program's very easy. It can be set up really in a matter of days. We set up the bank in our different systems to build the portfolio. It can be broken down by branch. It can be broken down by region. So it's very flexible in how your information and reporting is shared with you. And, you know, our experience, like I said before, we've been supporting banks since 1994. So if you're not sure exactly what type of program would best work within your bank, we probably have a good idea of a good way to structure that. We have extensive experience here. Again, since we've been spending so much time supporting with community banks, meeting with community banks, developing products and solutions that are geared towards the community bank space, we'd like to think we have a pretty good understanding of your industry and what's best for your customer and your bank in offering the program. The one important feature that we really like to develop is having a program administrator, which is kind of our go-to person at each of our bank partners to just assist with the education, how we could help identify prospects, and basically act as the main conduit to get our sales and support mechanisms directly into the bank and make sure that they're up and functioning properly. And again, I will identify a couple of those in the presentation in a little bit. Our representatives respond to all leads within 1 business day, and that's whether we're asked by the bank to contact the merchant directly or get the information back to our bank partners so that they can respond directly to the merchant. And we help guide the merchant through the process. Again, not only identifying rates, pricing is obviously the #1 item that you hear in merchant services, but there's so many other factors to consider. There are different prompts that are required for some merchants. That's why now when you go to pay at the pump, you see you're being asked to enter your zip code. Some online transactions ask you for the CVV or 3 or 4 digit number on your credit card. There's different products and parts of the service that help the merchant reduce fraud, but more importantly, help make sure that they're getting the best rates and qualifying for the best interchange rates that Visa and MasterCard allow for that particular type of merchant. So again, it's not only just the pricing, but it's recommendations for should they be using mobile if they're a delivery service and they're hand keying everything back at the office. Perhaps mobile solution would not only provide a better type of service, but also one that has less fees and is lower in cost. And then from a service and support standpoint, our designated service representative will coordinate the setup, train new merchants, provide training on an ongoing basis. If they hire a new staff member that wants trained, they can call in directly to your designated representative for training on all equipment and account issues, balancing statements, credit card machine is not functioning properly, they're looking at perhaps some additional components to add to the product. So again, the designated service rep is there for their questions and also to help with that support. And then our marketing department provides custom branded marketing materials and product information. We really are not that worried about the FiNet name being exposed in the marketing or in the bank's presentation of the product. We really try to structure this solution so that the merchant feels it's just an extension of the bank. And you'll see when we get to some of the items that we've developed that we are more about branding the marketing materials and product with the bank's information than with our information. And again, we provide reporting on residuals and merchant deposits is available online and available to the bank and the merchant to view either real-time online or getting a month-end summary that details the activity from the previous month's sales. The page you're seeing right now is we call our landing page, and this is something that was developed within our marketing department that has been an incredible asset not only to us but to our financial partners for offering merchant services. And without going into great detail, I know that it looks like there's a lot of information on a single page. Well, it was structured that way so that you had a kind of a one-stop shop to go to access some of the tools and information and resources that you need for providing your business customers with merchant services information. On this page, and again, we host it, it's at our expense, and we are responsible for the changes as they occur in the industry to update this page for you. There's more that's available than just this, but again, our marketing department tries to focus on getting the main components out there and accessible to you. So this page allows you to submit and track a referral on this link, and again, I'll cover it a little bit more in the next slide. I believe it's our product called Payment Cycle, which is the online tool that is provided to our banks so that they can track referrals or leads as they come in. That's not to say that you have to use this system. We prefer that you use the system, but if you call in, on your way back to the branch from an appointment, or you think about it at night and you send an email to your rep, or however you get us the information, we are going to go in and add it into your payment cycle account so that we can set up that system to track the account for you, to provide you with updates on the sales process. And again, on the next page, I'll elaborate a little bit more on what else it does. This page also provides you with your reporting location so that you can go online and view the reports for your merchants. It has administrative login, so it's not just available to the public, and then it can be structured so that certain folks have access to every part of the information, and then it can be kind of tiered down that other folks can log in and see other parts of the reporting. We provide constant, and as you can imagine right now, it's been a steady stream of information on what's going on in the industry, between everything that's going on with EMV, with compliance, with fraud, the latest Walmart lawsuits as they occur, and then Visa countersuing and all that information. We just try to provide you with links to information so that you can just be kept up to speed on what's going on in our fascinating world of merchant services. And then your representatives are located there, your sales representative or relationship manager, and then your service and support representative. Their pictures are there, their contact information is there. You can click on them to send them an email directly, or just know the best way to get in touch with them directly. And then again, if they're not available, it's not that if you can't get a hold of your designated rep, you cannot get assistance. There are people that back up these individuals, but again, they will be your main go-to people for your questions and answers on a regular basis. So we also provide a directory of the rest of the team, so you have all the contact information you need to get a hold of us. And we provide the marketing slicks. Those marketing slicks, you can see there's quite a number of them up there right now. I'll use mobile payments as an example. If you had a customer that was interested in a mobile payment solution, you can click on that link. That will open up a marketing page that gives the basics of mobile processing, some of the features and benefits of the product and solution. And when you do that, the bank's logo, just like you see up on the left-hand corner of this page, is dropped onto that slick so that you can freely give that to prospective or current business customers as they want information on any of these products and solutions. And again, it's not that we expect you to know what merchant should really want what slick or what pertains to them. We will work obviously closely with you to let you know what really makes sense. For example, you'll see a slick on there called Donate Now. Donate Now is a product for nonprofits, churches, charitable organizations to provide donations to be made, and all of the reporting and data that needs to go along with that is included in that. So getting to know the needs of your merchant and the type of business they are can definitely direct you to knowing what is the best type of marketing material to give them. And then for some of those really kind of where you got to get down into a little bit deeper into drilling out how the product and solution works, we upload demos on there that they could view a demo on EMV, on mobile payments. So there's product demos that are updated on this page on a regular basis as well. So as you can see, a lot of information, a lot of resources available to you. We update it, we host it, we are totally responsible for the expense of this, and we just hope that the bank uses it as a very active tool, because the more you use the resources that are on there, obviously the better you're going to be able to communicate with your merchants and provide them with the information that they're looking for. The payment cycle product, so it tracks leads. We do provide some incentive money back to the bank that if it's drilled down to provide incentives to salespeople or folks within the bank, we can track all of that for you and provide that information to you. And it also sends, what it does is it sends out emails back to the referring party to give them the update on what is transpiring with the account. So when we make a change in payment cycle, it auto triggers the system to email you an update. And again, you can turn those off if you want, if it's a little bit too much information. But again, our job is to keep you in the loop as much as we can so that, again, that partnership can work. And so that's a big reason why we're a big proponent of this particular product. It also will allow you the ability to look at customer service notes. So if you have a customer that comes into the bank or in the branch and has a question about service or support, you can actually log in and see those notes and be able to view. It's a read-only format, but it still gives you the ability to be updated on the support that has been provided to your customer. We do provide just about any type of solution possible. Supporting the bank, community bank channel, you have to be able to support many different types of businesses. And so we've worked very hard to find the right products, the right solutions to help put your business customer in that right product. Some of them are, just the basic credit card processing with very competitive rates. We do not have monthly minimums. So small merchants that are just doing, weekend transactions or whatever, they're just going to pay for their processing expenses. They're not going to be hit with any fees for basically just having the account stay on the books. Our virtual terminal solution is just a fantastic product for merchants that are internet enabled through a computer. They will work very well for recurring businesses, landscaping businesses, gymnasiums, anything that has a monthly ongoing recurring fee. You can build it into the virtual terminal to charge that customer not only a one-time fee, but also set up recurring payments. And the great thing about it, it's all doing it in the cloud, which is the way you want the information and data stored, so merchants can pull down that credit card information on their customers anytime they need it, access it. It stores email addresses so they can email specials and promotions to their customers. It's just a great online tool for, especially when you're not seeing the customer face-to-face, whether it's internet-based or e-commerce. Again, just a great way for them to be compliant and to have the best solution to process those types of transactions. And then, mobile's the big wave right now, using the smartphone or the tablet to process transactions anywhere. It's becoming more and more of the norm rather than the exception. And it's, again, our job to identify those customers that really should be considering a mobile or a tablet solution when they're looking for the best solution for their customers. So it's really a kind of a one-stop shop also for the different products and solutions. As you can see with the next slide, we've even put together POS systems that are tablet-based that businesses and merchants can get directly from us. You can see that the new wave of the merchant is to be able to take that tablet and do business anywhere, for it to talk to the inventory system, upload their own, if it's a kind of a food or beverage location, to upload pictures of their products and what they're selling, and to have it instantly communicate with their accounting system, with the different software systems that they want to communicate with. It provides human resources functionality, can do marketing, it's really incredible the direction that this product, along with the Apple Pay and the Samsung Pay, the contactless payments, the direction that it's going. You know, the merchant services has really started including more than just the credit card processing as the main. It still is the main component of the solution, but you know, we have merchant services accounts now that can also provide an integration for business analytics, so that the merchant can see, you know, the demographics of their location. When are people buying this product? When are people buying that product? When am I the busiest? When am I the least busiest? And then also, because it's all compiled through MasterCard and Visa, they can also check and see how they compare with their competition. You know, seeing that we've had many times when this solution is used that merchants didn't realize that being open at a certain time or a certain date was a valuable time for attracting customers, but through the business analytics you can gather that information, and it allows you to manage your credit card processing and your sales ability that much more succinctly, and it's just an unbelievable solution that you're going to start seeing more and more of that become integrated within the merchant services solution. So in summary, you know, the risk of providing merchant services to your customer outweigh the reward. Really, this day and age, the bank should not have any risk, other than the risk of having a merchant services partner that is not meeting the expectations of the bank. But any financial burden or costs, really, the revenue can be, in most cases, greater to the bank when you take out the overhead or cost expenditures for liability, monitoring fraud and risk, the reporting, and all that goes along with that. It should be profitable. It should, without question, be a profitable service for the bank. You know, our program allows us to be able to, in our revenue share, to be competitive, to get the largest merchant. We do professional sports teams, down to small mom and pops that are doing, like I said before, just more or less weekend transactions. So the best program, the most efficient program, carries no exposure or risk, no losses or expenses, produces revenue, and increases overall commercial deposits. And again, that's such a valuable part of this that a lot of times is overlooked, that these credit card sales are deposits. And I know that increasing core deposits is and always will be a primary focus of a community bank. But in order to do that, your partner needs to allow the bank to participate and to have control. And we're finding that the transition in the cycle that has occurred with merchant services went from the bank doing it in-house to the complete outsourcing, which again could have been a little bit of a nightmare if the outsourcing to a feet on the street model or a third party that they were not willing participants in the program, then that could make merchant services, unfortunately, be something that's more in the closet than on the forefront of what the bank is offering. So our belief is you can still offer a program where the bank is the face of the program, the bank is the entity that is controlling the aspects of the program, but that you have a partner that provides the solutions and meets the needs of that program. And that's what we are trying very, very hard to do, and we are constantly building our systems and updating our systems to be the solution that community banks are looking for, that you can feel very confident and comfortable in knowing that your partner does meet your expectations. So the solution provides no liability, helps you maintain control of the program, guaranteed revenue without expense. And again, we are a very, very proactive partner. Again, always trying to get our financial institutions to allow us to be a part of sales meetings and sales goals, and just really work closely with you to make merchant services be a standard part of any business product offering. And one of the ways we have partnered with Sage and a program that we came up with through our ICBA membership that really makes us unique is we want EMV equipment out there. You know, the EMV process has been clunky, to say the least. The mandate that occurred in October of last year came and gone without much really fanfare or much knowledge on the bank or at the merchant's level of what exactly transpired, what took place here, what do we need to know about. And really, if you look at the history of EMV, the history of the evolution of EMV in Europe and Canada and now in the United States, it without questions reduces risk. And it's a change that was much needed. It's starting to occur. I'm sure you walk into merchants now, you don't know if that chip reader is going to work or not, and merchants have found very unique ways to let you know if it's working, sticking little cardboard signs in the slot, and also have it not functioning yet. That's going to be the norm here for a while. Our goal is to assist those smaller merchants that are still terminal based to just have a solution that can still take the card swipe, but get them on EMV compatible equipment, and also handle the wallet pays, the digital wallet pays, to allow their customers to pay through that method as well. And we do so again by giving back a great deal of revenue back to the bank. The ICBA relationship enhances that even more by getting more revenue back to the bank. Our belief is that if the revenue is great enough that it provides, it makes a difference and allows the bank to be able to show a good portion of the bottom line revenue being added through this solution, then we've done our job. And it's a win-win for everybody. We're able to do this by obviously maintaining the type of program that we have, trying to keep your costs down so that more and more of the revenue can go back to the bank and make a difference. So again, that's a big part of how our program operates and works. And you know, we are, like I said, we're here to answer questions, to see any concerns or any needs you may have. Our numbers are listed there, and the number that through our ICBA bank card affiliation is listed. We welcome any questions. We really like to do face-to-face presentations to our bank partners and get a feel for, it helps us get a feel for what the bank is all about and understand the participation level that the bank wishes to have as a part of their program. So again, there is our contact information. Hopefully I made sense and I followed along with the itinerary here well enough for everybody to kind of understand a good overview. If you need more information, want more detail, please contact us directly, whether it's an over-the-phone dialogue or, again, what we welcome even more is that face-to-face meeting where you could just get comfortable with us, our organization, and see a little bit more kind of under the hood of what we're about and what we have to offer. So I see we did have one question. Merchant banks are seeing increased fraud. Is there a certain fraud scheme that we should be on the lookout for? That's a great question, because what is happening now and where we are seeing increased fraud is where the bad guy, you know, the bad guys always know where to hit, and right now with EMV coming on board at a slow pace, they are targeting those merchants that do not have EMV equipment or are EMV compatible, because they know that the liability for that account has gone directly over to the merchant, and the fraud and control strings that are in place with an EMV merchant, meaning, you know, it's not magstripe red, it's chip red. It's not going out over the lines with credit card data. It's using tokenization to reduce risk. So those merchants are hitting those types of merchants right now. I think you're going to see that it's going to be, as time goes on, those breaches that occur at the big merchant level should subside, because they should not have information to be able to store. So right now, again, we're seeing the bad guys kind of targeting the smaller merchant, the merchant that has not made the transition over to EMV, knowing that they're susceptible to the liability and the fraud on a fraudulent transaction. And they're still able to take the counterfeit cards because those can only be done through a magstripe environment and not in a chip environment. So again, great question. Hopefully I answered it. It's the non-EMV merchants are being targeted, and those are the types of businesses and fraud that you should definitely be on the lookout for. Are there any other questions or any other comments that we have at this time?
Rick, this is Marlene. I'm not seeing any other questions coming through right now. But while we wrap up, if any other questions do come through, we still have a couple minutes, so please send any questions you might have. And Alan, I believe you had some comments as well.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Rick and team for the informative presentation and the time, and hopefully the attendees, our clients and banks, found this interesting, and certainly take Rick up on his offer. They certainly do enjoy a face-to-face meeting to get to know each of our member banks. And we'll do we'll be doing a drawing after the webinar and send notifications to the winners of the prizes by the end of this week. We do need delivery information, so yeah, we'll reach out to the winners by the end of the week here. If there are no questions coming through, we will give our bankers 9 minutes to spare, and we'll end the presentation. Are there nothing else coming through, Marlene?
Nope, no more questions.
Okay.